Play your dholak. Radhe Radhe. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe. Dholak. Sounding okay to me. बोलिए लाडली लाल की जय, श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन कृपालु गुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर्गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः। गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ध्येयं सदा परिभवघनमभीष्ट दोहम् तीर्थास्पदं शिवविरिञ्चिनुतं नमः कमलमालिने नमः कमलपालिने मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। Dear devotees of God, let us now spend a few blissful minutes chanting the sweet words, Bhajo Giridhar Govinda Gopala. Let's close our eyes and do Rup Dhyan on Shri Krishna, who is known as Giridhar, Govind, Gopal, and by countless other names. Bhajo Giridhar Govind Gopala, Bhajo Giridhar Govinda Gopala, Bhajo Giridhar Giridhar Govinda Gopala, Bhajo Giridhar Govinda Gopala, Bhajo Giridhar Govind Gopala, Bhajo Giridhar Govinda Gopala, Bhajo Giridhar Govinda गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला। बोलिए वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। Devotional listeners, now I request your full attention. This is the second last lecture of this series, which is based on the elaboration of one single Vedic mantra or verse. It is from Shvetashvatara Upanishad, chapter 3, mantra number 8, which says, Tameva viditvati mrityumeti nanyah pantha vidyate yanaya. In elaborating this mantra, it has been disclosed so far that every living being is an eternal part and parcel of God, and that God is another name for happiness. Because we are part and parcel of God, it means naturally that we are part and parcel of happiness. Following the law of nature that says that every part has a natural affinity for its source, we, individual souls, have a natural desire to attain happiness. We do not have to be taught to desire happiness. We know it from the moment we are born, and we know it all the time. At every moment of life, we are searching for happiness. We're doing nothing but. We have not yet found this happiness, despite the fact that we have taken birth countless times, since beginningless time. Reason? We have always searched for happiness where it does not exist. We have looked for it in this material world, which is devoid of happiness. Vishnu Puran says, Tasmat dukkhatmakam nasti naiva kinchit sukhatmakam. The world is devoid of happiness as well as unhappiness. So we have looked in the world for happiness, we have not found it, but we are still conducting research. Vedas and Vedic scriptures have been screaming out for us to hear that Anando Brahmeti Vyajanat Taittiriya Upanishad, God is happiness. Such happiness that it is unlimited, everlasting, and ever increasing. And the soul is satisfied with nothing less than this. So we understand that we need to attain God in order to attain true happiness, but how to attain God? How can we reach God? We were told that it is impossible because we are material beings, we have a material mind, and which cannot comprehend the divinity of God. God whom we could understand would be no God, a philosopher has said. God is beyond the reach of our material intellect. We became despondent and discouraged, but then scriptures gave us a ray of hope by telling us that we can indeed attain God realization. We can definitely know God. How? Only through His grace, His kripa. Through self-effort? No, never. Only through His grace. And we also found out that in order to attain His grace, we need to surrender to Him. What is the meaning of surrender? We wondered, and we were told that to surrender means to cease all activity, and since the mind is the performer of all actions, it is the mind which must be surrendered to God. But there was a problem. Problem is that we have only one mind, and that one mind has been given to the world. So which mind are we going to surrender to God? In order to surrender the mind to God, we need to first detach it from the world. How do we do that? By convincing our mind, by giving the mind logics that will convince the mind that true happiness cannot be found in the world. If there were happiness in the world, each and every one of us would be experiencing it through each and every person, through each and every object, and in each and every place. But we find no single person or object that gives happiness to everyone at all times in the same amount. Our mind becomes detached from the world, finding out the world does not have what I want. But then, how are we going to surrender the mind to God? The mind cannot be detached. It has to be attached to something or someone. So we need help in surrendering our mind to God. How do we do that? With the help of a guru. Jagat Guru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj teaches us very explicitly how to surrender the mind to God. We find out from him that in order to surrender the mind to God, we need to do Roop Dhyan. We need to think lovingly of the the form, attributes, and pastimes of God. There are three aspects of God: Brahma, Paramatma, Bhagwan. Brahma is nameless and formless aspect. It is of no use to us. We cannot concentrate on nothingness. Paramatma is a very majestic aspect of God, which is very frightening and intimidating. So it's of little use to us. Bhagwan is a sweet and forgiving aspect of God. This aspect of God is the one we should surrender to. Bhagwan Sri Krishna, especially because in Sri Krishna there are 4 nectars which are not found in any other form of God. Leela, Premna, Priyadhikyam, Madhuryam, Venu, Rupayoho. The nectar of his pastimes, the nectar of his beauty, the nectar of the love that he gives, and nectar of the flute. To do Roop Dhyan of Sri Krishna, we need to employ 2 methods. This was disclosed yesterday. One is Karma Yoga Sadhana, one is Karma Sanyasa Sadhana. We should be thinking about Sri Krishna, we should do Roop Dhyan on him as we go about performing various duties in the world, our daily chores, if you will. And the other one is Karma Sanyasa Sadhana. We should leave aside all duties, all responsibilities, all chores, all activities, and at least spend 1 hour with Sri Krishna in which we are doing his Roop Dhyan, in which we are doing Roop Dhyan on him. This is how far we have reached in this series, which began last Saturday at the beginning of this retreat. And now I shall resume the topic of Roop Dhyan. I talked a lot about Roop Dhyan in both the ways, Karma Yoga Sadhana and Karma Sannyas Sadhana, but I would like to speak about it in greater detail. Karma Sannyas Sadhana. It is best to do Roop Dhyan, to renounce family, friends, and duties, chores, and just go by yourself, be by yourself in a room where you are sure to get privacy. It is best to do this sadhana early in the morning. Scriptures say, Brahme muhurto uttishtet. They suggest that we should get up in Brahma Muhurt, early in the morning, 4 o'clock or so. Why is that magical, that hour, 4 o'clock, early morning? Because it's a godly hour. Many people, they would say, that's not so. If you get up early in the morning, very early in the morning, and someone in the family gets up also, he or she is likely to ask you, what in the world are you doing at this ungodly hour? When you get up really early, someone may make this comment, what are you doing up at this ungodly hour? Now, strangely enough, that's a very godly hour. Early in the morning. Why? Because your day has not even started, and there are no telephone calls you received. You haven't opened your computer yet. You haven't browsed the internet yet. People in your family members are still asleep. And the atmosphere is very pure and holy at that time. There are pure vibrations in the atmosphere. For these reasons, and it's quiet atmosphere. Everyone is asleep. So you have quiet, you can have your solitude. There are pure vibrations in the air. You haven't started getting involved with the world yet. Mind is basically more or less thoughtless right now at this point. So this is the best time to do Roop Dhyan on Sri Krishna. There's no other reason. These are very logical reasons why scriptures say Brahme Muhurto Uttishtet. However, it is also said, na desha na kalaniya mastatha. When it comes to place and time when you're supposed to do Rup Dhyan, there are no hard and fast rules. Na deshaniya mastasmin na kalaniya mastatha. The Purans say there's no hard and fast rule. If you really cannot make it for 4 o'clock in the morning or 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, let's say you're at work at that time, you have the night shift, you can't do sadhana at 4, 5, 6 o'clock, and you ask, well, can I do it at 2 p.m.? Absolutely. Can I do this sadhana, can I do Rup Dhyan at midnight? Yes, yes, yes. Do it any time, but it is going to be easiest if you do it in the morning, early in the morning, for the reasons that I had outlined. And where should I sit? Many people are very concerned about that. Oh, always sit towards the east. We Hindus say that. The Muslims say face towards the west because the Kaaba is towards the west. So Hindu and Muslim are having an argument. You know, you're a fool, you always sit towards the east. You're a fool, you always sit towards the west. Let's get God to decide this. God says you're both fools. Because it does not matter to me which direction you are facing. Place does not matter. It has to be a holy place, a pure place. Where are you going to find a pure place? Where there is a temple today, there was a cemetery countless times. Where there's a cemetery today, there was a place of worship. That was a pilgrimage at some point. Bhishma Pitama had told the Pandavas, cremate my body in a pure place, holy place. So the Pandavas had a terrible time finding the suitable place. They took his body, they took the dead body of Bhishma Pitama, grandsire Bhishma, to a cave. They took it high to the mountains, high up in the mountains. Every time they tried to cremate his body, Mother Earth would speak and would say, Shatam Bhishma. The same Bhishma has been cremated here hundreds of times. How are you going to find a pure place? And then again, no matter how unholy the place is, if you chant the name of God with love, that place becomes the holiest. So there is no consideration, there should be no consideration given to which direction you're facing, where you're sitting, which direction. It doesn't matter. Main thing is that the place should be conducive for Rup Dhyan. You should not be trying to do Rup Dhyan in the midst of a busy room when people are coming and going. There's a lot of talking going on. The mind is already very mischievous. Remember, it's like a monkey. Our monkey mind, it's already mischievous enough, so we need to take it into a quiet place. Vivikta Sevi Lagbhashi, says the Bhagavad Gita. Go into a quiet place. Detach yourself from the world. And then Brahma Sutras tell us, they give us very specific instructions as to what we should do to help us do Rup Dhyan more effectively. We wonder, should I lie down? Should I lay down? No, you shouldn't do that. Should I stand and do this Rup Dhyan? Don't do that. Why not? Well, if you're lying down, your mind is going to become very lazy. Soon you'll be fast asleep. And then you'll get up and then people will say, you have been sleeping there. You'll say, no, I was in Samadhi. So that you don't have to make this excuse, you will fall asleep, don't lie down. What if I stand? No, you're going to be too uncomfortable. So then, should I move around? No. Mind is going to be very mischievous. Then, sit. Sit with a straight back. Achalatvam chapeksha. You should be achal, not moving at all. So we are advised to sit with a straight back. And we are advised to then do Rup Dhyan, Dhyanach, meditate lovingly. Yesterday, I was saying to you that according to the scriptures, Bhajan Kirtan, chanting the holy name, is the most effective method, and it is indeed the only method of doing Rup Dhyan that is advised for people of this age, people of Kali Yuga. That would be all of us. There's a power in God's name. Saint Tulsidas says that even Bhagwan Sri Ram is not as powerful as his name. He says very sweetly, Ram bhalu kapi katak batora, setu hetu shram kinh nathora, naam let bhav sindhu sukhahi, karahu vichar sujan man mahi. O good people of the world, think about this. Bhagwan Ram gathered an army of bears and monkeys to build a bridge to Lanka. But his name is so powerful that by taking its shelter, countless souls have crossed the ocean of Maya. Indeed, the name is so powerful that the ocean of Maya just dries up. You can walk across it. The name of God is more powerful than God. The name of God is always, always, always available to us. Bhagwan in his form is not always available. Bhagwan Ram is here in Treta Yuga. Sri Krishna is here. He comes as Krishna towards the end of Dwapar Yuga. He's not always here on earth, but his name is always here. We can always take the shelter of his name, and we certainly should. Kali Jug Keval Naam Adhara, says Tulsidas Ji. And while chanting his names and glories and pastimes, as I was telling you yesterday, we should go into different relationships. The highest relationship is the lover-beloved relationship, Madhurya Bhav. One below is Vatsalya Bhav, parent-child relationship. One below that is Sakhya Bhav, a friendly relationship with him. And one below that is Dasya Bhav, servant-master relationship. We should go to different relationships, but remain mostly in Madhurya Bhav, says Jagadguru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj, the great Rasik saint and fifth Jagadguru, original Jagadguru of Kali Yuga. While we are trying to do Rup Dhyan, we wonder, when we are trying to do Rup Dhyan, we wonder, what does Lord Krishna look like? How do I think about him? How do I do Rup Dhyan where I don't know what his Rup is like? What does he look like? Saints have given us many hints. They have described Sri Krishna in great details. Sri Maharaji, Jagadguru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj, has given incredible information about what Sri Krishna looks like. And if you were to hear everything he says about Sri Krishna's beauty, your mouth will just hang open, because he gives such detailed description. And all the saints have said, really, that Sri Krishna has a round face. That's a big help, because we're thinking, does he have a long face, heart-shaped face? He has a round face. His hair is curly. So it's not straight, it's curly. And it's very silky. And it's black hair. His eyes are very large. They extend to his ears. Akarna Purna Netram, says Adi Shankaracharya. And they are filled with sweetness. There is poison in the eyes, that is the blackness, the black pupil. And there's nectar, the white of the eyes. And there's intoxication, the red lines in the eyes. So in his eyes, there is intoxication. When we look at those eyes, you become intoxicated with love. There is poison and there's nectar, these charming eyes. They're so beautiful. And his lips are very red. His teeth resemble pomegranate seeds. He has very majestic shoulders. He has very strong arms. His voice is very powerful, but at the same time very sweet. It's honey-like, but very powerful at the same time. There are many descriptions that we have been given, but at the end of the day, we can just use our imagination. It has been suggested to us that we should think about Sri Krishna's age to be no more than 16 years of age. He should be, in our Rup Dhyan, we should keep him up till 16 years of age and no older than that. Again, that's not a hard and fast rule, because as the Vedas say, Twan Stri, Twan Puman, Twan Kumar, Utava kumari tvanjirno dandena vanchasi. My Lord, sometimes you come in the world, tvam stri, in the female form, tvam puman, sometimes in the male form. Sometimes you appear in the world as a young girl, sometimes as a young boy. And sometimes, tvam jirno dandena vanchasi, you appear in the world in the form of a very, very old man walking with the help of a stick, keeping a cane in your hand to balance yourself. You fool the world in this way. So even when it comes to his age, there are no restrictions. It's just a suggestion that we should think of him to be anywhere from a newborn child to 16 years of age. He is, after all, Naval Kishore. In Golok, in his divine kingdom, Sri Krishna, his age is limited to only 16 years. He does not become older than 16. But it is up to us. He gives us the freedom. Think about it. How merciful he is. He gives us the freedom to think of him in any which way. Yena kena prakarena manah Krishne niveshayet. The prakar, the method doesn't matter. As long as we are doing Rup Dhyan on Sri Krishna, that is sufficient. It's very easy for us. Easy in the sense to do Rup Dhyan, since we are given the freedom. What does Lord Krishna look like? That is the question. The answer is, he looks like what you want him to look like. What is your concept of beauty? And everyone's idea of beauty is so different. It varies from country to country. It varies from city to city. It varies from individual to individual. What one person finds beautiful, the other person finds hideous. What one person finds hideous, the other person finds beautiful. So we are such individuals. We have our own likes and dislikes. So according to our standard of beauty, we should create an image of Sri Krishna in the mind. These murtis are mere helpers. They form a basis for our meditation, our Rup Dhyan, but we must not stare at them. We must use them as a basis, and then we should close our eyes and do Rup Dhyan on Sri Krishna. And when we do Rup Dhyan, we are singing different types of bhajans and kirtans. I mentioned to you yesterday that Jagatguru Shri Kripaluji Maharaj's Prem Ras Madira scripture, the lyrical scripture, comprised of 1008 most beautiful bhajans, is divided into 21 madhuris or nectars, 21 parts, each one revealing a different kind, a unique nectar of its own. So there is so much for us to enjoy, and that's just one of his scriptures. There are so many more that he has given to us. So literally, thousands and thousands of bhajans and kirtans are at our disposal, so that we may satisfy our mind's desire for variety. So that we are not only singing one kirtan, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. It doesn't satisfy us, because after some time we think, the mind says, I want something else. I want something else. So we give it another kirtan. I want something else. Another bhajan then. Okay, I want a serious bhajan now. Okay, here it is. I want a fun-filled one. I want the fast one. Okay, here it is. I want to go into friendly relationship with him. Okay. You can sing something like, Jevat Bal Gopal Gwal Sang. Kanhaiya is eating, he's sharing his meal with his friends. He's snatching food from their mouths. One of his friends is saying, my dahi pakodi is so delicious that whoever tastes it will just want to eat it and eat it and eat it, never stop. Kanhaiya's mouth starts to water, so the friend, Madhu Mangal, he says, all right, why don't you close your eyes, Kanhaiya, and open your mouth, and I'll put the dahi pakodi that my mother has made for me into your mouth. Kanhaiya unsuspectingly closes his eyes, opens his mouth, and his friend smears it all over his face. And everyone laughs. They clap and they laugh. Friendly relationship. Sometimes the mind wants that. Sometimes the mind says, no, I want to think of him to be my sweetheart. And then, Jhumat avat sham dekhu sakhi gati madmat गयंद लजावत मन भावत ब्रजबाम देखो सखी. Go into a different relationship. And then I want to really think myself to be his servant. I want to go into that mode, and that mood, servitude. Kije dasan das nath mohi. Make me a servant of your servants, O Sham Sundar. We go into different moods. I want to go into viraha. I feel the separation from him. I want that mood. I want that melancholy. Now I want to be with him. I want to enjoy pastimes with him. There is so much variety that we have, and we should use that. But we must always keep in mind that we must never, ever ask our beloved Lord for our own happiness. We should never ask him to fulfill our worldly desires. Because after all, you don't go to the King of Kings and ask him for pennies. You don't ask him for little trivial things. You don't go to the King of Kings and ask him for small things. He's going to give you big gifts. Lord Krishna has big gifts to give us. We should not ask him for trinkets. I want better health for myself and my family. Oh, don't ask that. It's too small. I want more money. Oh, too small. This is too small. He's too great for that. I want a child. Oh, he's your child. Don't worry about it. Don't ask him for something so small. If you wish to ask him for something, ask him for Nishkam Prem. I want selfless love. I want to love you selflessly. I desire to be desireless. After all, Prahlad asked him for this, and Prahlad he should be accepted by us as our role model in devotion. He did not ask God for anything. God tested him. Narsingh Bhagwan tested Prahlad, but Prahlad did not fail. He said, Maharaj, I do not want anything. No, you must ask, but I really don't want anything. But you should ask. Okay. I want that I should not want anything again. And now Narsingh Bhagwan could not say anything. Oh my goodness, this boy has left me speechless. God was left speechless by what a little boy, Prahlad, said to him. Prahlad says, Yasta ashisha ashaste nasabhrityah savai vanik. My Lord, the one who asks for something from you is not a devotee of yours. He is a businessman, is he not? He gives you his love and he wants something from you. He wants worldly property from you. He wants you to give him name and fame. His name should be in lights. Everyone should know him. He wants name and fame. Or he wants more wealth. Or he wants better health. He wants children. He wants this. He wants that. A true devotee does not want anything from God. In fact, he wants to serve God. Nit seva mangu shama sham teri na bhukti nahi mukti mangu mein badhe bhakti nishkam nit meri na bhukti nahi mukti mangu mein nit seva mangu Hari Guru Teri na bhukti nahi mukti mangu mein. He wishes to serve the Lord. He does not want the Lord to serve him. He does not ask God for the world. He does not ask that God should put him in Swargalok, in the celestial regions after death. He does not even want liberation. Bhagwan Ram tests his devotee, Kagbhishundi, because God always tests the devotee, just as a guru always tests the disciple. Kagbhishundi, I'm very happy with you, and I want to give you a gift. So tell me, what is it that you would like me to give you? Kagbhishundi manguvar ati prasanna mohijan. I'm very happy with you. Ask me for anything and I'll give it to you. Kagbhishundi was a true devotee, so he remained quiet. Bhagwan Ram tested his devotee further by saying, maybe you're not able to think of anything, so shall I just suggest some goodies that I can give you? Animadik siddhi aparanidhi moksha sakal sukh dham. I can give you siddhis, occult powers. Sattvic siddhis, there are 8 in number. Anima, Laghima, Garima, Mahima, Ishitva, Vashitva, Prapti, etc. There are 8 of them, and they're very impressive. You'll get great powers if I give you these siddhis. What about it? Kagbhushundi was silent. So Bhagwan Ram said, I think you want something more than that. I'll give you 9 nidhis. They're even greater than the 8 siddhis. Again, there was silence. You drive a hard bargain, but I'm willing to give you liberation. Moksha. Kagbhushundi still did not say anything. And Bhagwan Ram said, I can't offer you anything more. You tell me, what is it that you want then? If you don't want even liberation, then what is it that you desire? Kagbhushundi said, Maharaj, I want something even greater than liberation. I want selfless love, aviral bhakti. Aviral bhakti vishuddh tav, shruti puran jehi gav, jehi khojat yogish muni, prabhu prasad ko upav, dehu daya kari ram. My sweet Lord, be merciful to me and give me that which is inaccessible to even the great yogis and ascetics and meditators. I want something infinitely greater than liberation. I want selfless love, your selfless love. That was the end of the test. Bhagwan Sri Ram was very pleased with his devotee. We should not ask God for anything. Even if our life is in danger, we should not ask. We should not call out to Him to save our life, because life and death, the moment of death is already predestined. And no one can prolong our life, and in the same way, no one can cut it short. There's no such thing as untimely death. People say, oh, he died an untimely death. Why did they say that? Or he was a young man, or he was just a child. He was 10 years old. It was an untimely death. She died in an accident. It was an untimely death. Not untimely in the sense that wasn't really her time, but she died before time. No. The moment of death is predestined for us even before we take birth. So even if we are dying, we should not call out to God for life. We should call out to Him just out of love, not because we want something from Him. This is the philosophy of divine love of Jagatguru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj. He says, do not ask God for anything. And why should we ask Him for anything? There are some logics that I'll present before you that should convince anyone that it would be silly for us to ask Him for something. Logic number 1 is that we don't really have a great relationship with God. We're not so close buddies with Him that we can ask Him for favors. If you're close to someone, you can say, can I borrow your car for a couple hours? Can you lend me $50? You don't go up to a stranger on the street and say, how about it? Can you lend me a couple of $100? Who are you? Do I know you? Get out of here. I don't know you. You're a stranger to me. I know you're a stranger, but no, I really need. Go ask someone else. How is it that we dare to ask God to fulfill our desires when we really don't have any closeness with Him? We haven't spent time cementing any kind of relationship with Him. How can we have the audacity to ask Him for something when we are in times of trouble? We don't do that in the world. Logic number 2. What we get in life is already predestined. We are advised, or we are instructed to do kriyaman karma. We should make our best effort, but effort itself does not spell success. Many people make great efforts and they do not succeed. Why? There is something called destiny that comes into play. So destiny has some things in store for us, and God will not go against the dictates of our destiny. And remember, our destiny is fruits of previous actions we ourselves have performed. Purva janma kritam karma tad daiva miti kathyate hitopadesh. Actions of previous lives are now bearing fruit, and they are known as destiny in this life. So there are certain things we are not meant to have, and there are certain things we are meant to have. Why should we ask God for something we are not meant to have? And we have no idea what destiny has in store for us. The only thing we should do is to make our best effort. Logic number 3, if we could get everything by asking God for it, then why hasn't that happened so far? Many people say, I get everything that I ask for from God. It's not true. But even if it is true, then the question would be, well, why didn't you ask God for the biggest achievement? Why didn't you ask Him to give you His divine kingdom? Why are you asking Him only for a job and for a child and for more money, for a bigger house, for better health? Why don't you ask Him for His eternal seva? Why don't you ask Him to give you a divine mind? Why don't you ask Him for divine knowledge? Why are you asking Him for trinkets when you can ask Him for the big things? So, when we do Rup Dhyan, we should always visualize ourselves serving Him in different capacities. He's my child, Krishna is my child, and I'm serving Him. He's very small, and I'm bathing him, I'm putting clothes on him, I'm putting tiny ornaments on him, tiny little piled anklets on him. I'm putting the crown of peacock feathers in his hair. I am feeding him now. I am now picking him up. I'm playing with him. So we should we should always think that that we are serving him, not that he's serving us. He's my beloved, and I'm serving him in so many different ways. In so many different ways, I'm serving my beloved Krishna, my child Krishna, my friend Krishna. The cowherds always try to serve their friend Kanhaiya. When they would all sit together in a circle, they would all bring out the packets of food that their mothers had packed for them. And a friend of Sri Krishna had a very nice, shiny red apple. And he takes one bite of it, and that apple is very juicy and very sweet. So he gives it to Kanhaiya. Kanhaiya, yes? You eat this because this is a really sweet apple. He wants to serve his friend, Kanhaiya. He doesn't say, Kanhaiya, what do you have that's so good? Let me have that too, besides what I have. He wants to give him the food that he finds tasty. He deprives himself, but gives it to his Lord, his friend. So we should always be trying to serve him. And if you have a guru, and everyone needs a guru, then you cannot serve Lord Krishna directly. You can do that in your Rup Dhyan, but you can serve your guru directly. You can serve your guru. You can serve your guru's mission. So the servitude does not have to wait until you reach Golok. You can serve God by serving your guru. And yesterday I had mentioned that tears are an essential part of devotional practice. When we are doing Rup Dhyan, we should try to increase our intensity. We should try to make our love more and more intense. We should try to love him more and more. We should try to feel his absence, feel badly about his absence more and more. Like King Dashrath. Bhagwan Ram had left for his exile, and King Dashrath was missing him so much. He said, I cannot live without you. Ha Raghunandan pran pirite tum binu jiyat bahut din beete. O Ram, I have lived without you for entirely too long now. Speaking these words, King Dashrath breathed his last. We should try to increase our feeling of separation from Sri Krishna, our beloved. Why do you play hide and seek with me? Why don't you give me darshan? Darshan dena Nand Kumar, darshan dena Nand Dulare, Nand Nandan Nainan ke tare. Prem Ras Madira. So we should shed tears, sometimes tears of separation, sometimes tears of union with him. We should always try to serve him. We should never ask him for not only the world, but for celestial regions, and not even liberation. We should never ask him for anything. Our love should be pure. There should be no spot, there should be no stain of selfishness on that cloth called bhakti. Our devotion should be pure, it should be selfless. And when we are trying to do this Roop Dhyan, we should keep in mind that it should not be stop and go. We should do it every single day. Practice makes perfect. A saint has said, Rasari avat jatate silpar hot nisan. If you pass a rope on a stone, and stone is very hard, but you pass it again and again, that rope, that passing back and forth on the stone, will make an indent on the stone. It will do that. And so, although our mind is very worldly, but if we do Roop Dhyan every single day without fail, if we keep on making the effort, then there will be an impression left on the mind, a strong impression. Then it will become easier and easier to do Roop Dhyan. We should not do it one day and then let it go for a week. That 1 week will turn into a month. That 1 month will turn into a year. And you know, in the case of Ajamil, when he fell down from the path, he was gone for years and years. We should not be so confident in our mind. We should not be so confident about our mind that, you know, my mind will do Roop Dhyan any old time. I don't need to do it every day. We need to do it every day. Our mind tries to convince us that we don't need to do it every day. The mind itself says, I don't need to do it every day because I'm so advanced. We should never trust the mind. We should trust the words of our Guru, who says, do it every day. Do sadhana every day. Do Roop Dhyan while you're with people and doing chores and you are working in the world, and also when you have detached yourself from the world physically and you're doing karma sannyas sadhana. Daily practice is a must. And we should not become very, like I said, overconfident, that it doesn't matter, nothing matters to me, I can see anything, I can hear anything, I can let go of sadhana for a while, it doesn't matter, nothing matters. Saubhari Muni used to submerge himself underwater in the Yamuna. He used to submerge himself fully. He used to suspend his breath. And he used to meditate underwater. He was that advanced. He was that advanced a meditator. One day he saw two fish mating and he thought, I should also get married. I should not deprive myself of that pleasure. So he came out of the water, went to King Mandhata, who had 50 daughters, each one very beautiful and very talented. And he said, "Oh king, you have 50 daughters. I would like to marry one of them." The king became panicky. He thought, this is an old man, and how can I give one of my daughters in marriage to him? And the king was thinking such thoughts, and then he came upon a plan. He said, "Maharaj, please come back tomorrow to the palace, and I shall hold a swayamvar. My daughters will be there, each one with a flower garland, and whichever one puts a garland around your neck will become your wife." The sage said, "I agree with that." He went away smiling to himself, thinking, "You don't know my powers of yoga, O king. You think I am so old? I shall turn myself into a handsome young man. Then you shall see what happens tomorrow." So Saubhari Muni went back, and now the king didn't recognize him. He was so surprised. "O king, I have great powers." The 50 daughters were brought into the court. Each one of them placed a garland around Saubhari. The king said, "This is another samasya. This is a very big problem. 50 of them want the same man as their husband." Saubhari said, never worry about anything. I have powers, and I will assume 50 forms. He assumed 50 forms. He lived in 50 palaces, and each one of the wives, he had 10 children from each one of the wives, so it's a huge family now. Years passed, years and years passed. And one fine day, Saubhari Muni was sitting by himself and he went like this. Aho Imam Pashyatame Vinasham. Oh, my fellow humans, look at what I've done to myself. I was so up there in devotion and now I'm so fallen. I've got thousands of kids. So many kids. I've got such a huge family. What a householder I've become. And I let go of my meditation. We are not as advanced as Saubhari Muni, not nearly as advanced as he was. So we need to be very careful as we do Rup Dhyan, as we do devotion every single day in two ways, Karma Sannyas and Karma Yoga. There are some precautions that need to be taken. We need to know these precautions in greater detail. We need to know what scriptures say about these precautions. What precautions are told to us by scriptures and saints? That is the topic for the final lecture tomorrow. Boliye Srimad Sadguru Sarkar ki, Srimad Yugal Sarkar ki, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri